Welcome, everybody, to another great CEO podcast. My name is Jim Schleckser. I am your host. Today, we have a great guest with us, another great CEO. We have Bill Canady from OTC Industrial Technology. So welcome, Bill.
Hey, it's great to be here, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Maybe you could just start us. I always love these like 3-letter names. I'm like, I got no idea what they do. So maybe you could explain what your firm does for us first.
Absolutely. And we went with a 3-letter name because when we had the actual name, no one understood what we did either. So
yeah, right.
So this was called Ohio Transmission Corporation. So we don't sell transmissions, and we're all over the country, right? So people would go, do I get my car fixed? And we go, no, it's back to the old days of bearings and power takeoffs and all these things. But today, what we really do is we're in industrial products all across the country, and I can walk you through that.
Okay, but like powertrain oriented, or like anything I need to run a factory, or like what? How is this Granger? Is it focused? Is it like, where are you in that spectrum?
No, that's a great question. So no, we're pretty focused. We have 4, we call them segments. So we have pump and motors. So all the things that move things around the world, a lot of it process pumps. Second, we call it the air supply group. Every time I say it, I hear music in the back of my
know,
head.
right? Yeah.
And so that is compressors that we run big factories with. And in fact, we are the largest seller of air in the world. So you turn on your light switch and lights come out. Well, in factories, they turn on a switch and our machines are the one, and we sell them the air to run all their factories.
Love it.
Third piece is finishing, dispensing, and filtration. A lot of that's automotive. So it's like big old robots and air filters and the things that go with that. And the final one we call the industrial products group, and that's primarily automation. So
got it.
Those are our big, which is why we don't call ourselves Ohio Transmission.
I was going to say, it has nothing to do with that anymore. Yeah. Awesome. So cool. So, given that you're distributing products that are largely made by other people, is that right? Or are you making these things?
No, we're primarily a distributor. We're known as a value added, which means we do light manufacturing. We take those compressors, snap them together, and sell them as units. We take pumps, put them in systems, so you can make toothpaste if you want.
Got it. Awesome. So what's the competitive advantage? Is it that value added in the engineering competency? Because anybody could buy the stuff, right?
Yeah, well, kind of, right? So our competitive advantage really comes down to 3 very simple things. So in the industrial distribution world, it's kind of crazy. You have contracts that you have, in some cases, exclusive territory. So if you're in Ohio, we talked about Ohio, and you want to buy a Flowserve pump, you're only going to get it through us.
Got it.
If you're in, again, Ohio, you want to buy an atLhe Copco, you're going to buy it through us. So the first is we partner with the best brands in the world. We have the absolute top tier. The second piece that we offer to folks is we take and we can put that together and provide a solution to our customers.
Right.
And the third is probably the most important, and that's the service and repair, right? Nobody wants to own a pump because they're super cool and they make great Christmas gifts. It's because it allows them to do whatever they're doing, making paint, painting cars, whatever the case may be.
Got it. And they want it to keep working, which is the key.
They want it to keep working. Yeah, you're making cars, you're rolling millions of dollars off the line every day. Our product, it may be a $5 bolt broken, right? And it's at midnight, which is, we'll get out there, we'll take care of you.
Nice. So what percentage of the revenue recurs every year? So that's always a key question on business quality. Is it all project work, or is it like, hey, I know that's coming in every year, not much. I mean, we just got to be here.
Yeah.
What's that mix?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we are definitely not all projects. I personally am not a fan of projects because they're lumpy. They come and they go. And if they stretch too long, it's hard to make money. So we think of our reoccurring revenue in 2 buckets. So the first is parts and repair. And that fluctuates between 30 and 40%.
Nice.
Right. The second piece is we look at our installed base. About 80% of the business we do is recurring with the same exact customers day in and day out. So we consider that a recurring revenue stream. They may be expanding or not. 20% is something new. They're putting in a new factory. We're taking new territory, whatever it is. And that's really where we find our differential level of growth is in
that area. Interesting. So, every business has a point of constraint. We call it a kink in the hose, and you're a manufacturing guy. You get this, right? So what is the point of constraint in your business? If there's like one big thing you could change, it would make it a materially better business. What would that be?
The biggest constraint that we have is getting more territory, right? So if we're Atlas Copco, which is a great partner of ours, as an example, we have through the Midwest. So we would like the West Coast. We don't have it, and they're probably never going to give it to us,
Yeah.
right? So they've got that. So our constraint is territory.
Awesome. So it's the ability to negotiate with the principals and gain exclusive ownership over a territory. That's the issue.
It is. And about the only way you can do it is through acquisition. So if you look at us over the last 7 years, we made almost 30 acquisitions. We made 6 in the last year, right?
And a big part of that was trying to buy territory with the right principles.
That's right. So we stick to our knitting, right? We know what we like. We know what we're good at. We go out there and we work with our manufacturers, and they'll sometimes have underperforming areas. They've got someone who's wanting to exit the business, whatever it is, right? And we're happy to go in there, and we'll, when I took it over 18 months ago, we were about 700 million. We'll do over $1 billion this year.
Nice. That's phenomenal. Awesome. And I can tell you, as the product manager that used to make decisions about who got territories, there's always this balance of, man, they're really good, but if I give them all that territory, the balance of power, my risk, it's a weird dynamic, actually, right? They want the performance, but they don't want the risk and the exposure of like single point of failure.
That's exactly right. They're scared. The tail will wag the dog. The reason that our vendors like the one we're good at too, we play in our lane, right? We do exactly what we say we're going to do. We don't cheat. We don't go out of territory, anything like that. Not all of our products are territory limited. Some, like in the filtration business, Columbus Industries is our partner, a fantastic partner. We're their largest one that does it, and we can really sell their product anywhere.
Got it. Interesting. So let's move over to you for a minute. How many hours a week do you work?
It's an interesting question. Yeah, it's my whole life people talked about balance, right? So, I need my work time. I need my my life is kind of bolted together. And so funny, last night at 10 o'clock, I was on calls talking to my HR person. We're looking at, it's that time of year where all that's coming out. But I would say, normally things like most of my days start around 7:30, and I'm typically done by about 6. But I love what I do. It doesn't seem like if you love what you do, you don't work an hour, you never work a day.
Some CEOs, when I ask that question, they go, when I'm awake is when I'm working, kind of, because I'm always thinking about it, right?
That's right.
So in as you've expanded, you've done phenomenal. You had a 50% growth year over year. That requires you to sort of lose some responsibilities as you elevate your engagement with the business. Can you name one significant responsibility that you've exited or delegated to somebody else in the last 6 months?
Yeah. So when I came in, so we're a collection of about 30 operating companies. They were all operating individually. I organized them. The team organized them into the 4 segments, and I put a president over each and every one of those. Those presidents are responsible for the day-to-day operating of the business. And what I do is working together, we set strategy. We make sure, we love everyone, but we verify, right? So it's a series of meetings. A lot of the stuff I do is internal, and it's also looking at really our big partners, getting out there, listening to what's going on. That's where I'm most effective. I travel almost every week, probably about 50% of the time, if you actually look at the days, and it's going in, talking to the team, seeing what's happening. And I call it VOC by CEO, right? Which drives my team crazy. I come back and go, did you hear this? And they're like, no, that's not the way. But there always is the way.
Yeah, interesting. Well, and your predecessor didn't have these business unit leaders. So that person was actually directly engaged in all of these 30 little fiefdoms and trying to manage this thing.
That's right. And it drives a little bit of chaos because you start getting caught up in the urgent and unimportant, right? It's fires everywhere. By reorganizing, so we've spent over the last year or so about $50 million just putting in new systems, processes, technology, getting people out there. We're working to get ourselves across all on the same ERP. We have about 70% of our revenue on the same today. Our goal by the time we exit 24, we should have right at 90% of it. Those type of things let us see into the business. It really allows us to make decisions about what's going on.
Perfect. Awesome. So if you were to describe your leadership approach, what would be the sort of 1, 2, 3 major items that describe your leadership approach?
I make this joke, which is kind of funny. I always say I'm a benevolent dictator, but
my dad used to say that.
I'm not even sure what it means, right? But I'm I'm not a micromanager. I want to get aligned around where we're going. And I'm a big progress, not perfection. So I like to talk to my folks all the time, and I'll say, Jim, hey, how's it going? All right, and let's figure out how we're going to go do that. And so I'm constantly trying to make little macro or micro changes instead of the big macro piece off of it. So it's the alignment, it's picking a goal. So I feel my job is to say, here's where we're going. They have to figure out how we're going to go get there. I'll give them my opinion. But at the end of the day, they feel strongly that that's how they want to do it. That's fine. They also have to own those decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is the better answer. Yeah, cool. And then just last question. What do you do for fun?
Three things I used to do 3 things, right? We love to travel with our family. I love to read. I mean, that's my I just love to read. And the final thing is golf. But January the 9th, I had a new grandson. And so now that is the only thing I'm remotely interesting playing with is little Colin Arthur. He is just amazing, and we're so blessed.
That's fun. Awesome. Well, hey, Bill, this was a phenomenal conversation. I really appreciate it. And I wish you guys very good luck going forward.
Thanks, Jim. It's great to meet you and great to learn a little bit about what you got going. Have a great day, sir.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.